Hey, what is up, everybody? Zerofats here, aka Cam Jennings, coming at you on behalf of EpicConversions.com and the Zerofatzreturns YouTube channel. I have a very special guest for you guys today. On the call, we have one Evan Carmichael, owner and operator of EvanCarmichael.com and Evan Carmichael YouTube channel, now with over 600,000 subscribers. The author of Your One Word. Evan, thanks so much for being on the call, man. I know you're a busy guy. I appreciate your time.
And excited to do this.
Dude, listen, can you take us back for a minute? For those out there that don't know you, and there's a lot of people who do know you, let's be honest, your stuff's getting big, man. And I know I've enjoyed a lot of your videos, and I enjoy your blog as well. Can you take us back to the beginning? How did this Evan Carmichael empire get started, man? Where does it come from?
Sure. I mean, we go anywhere you want to go. I think a long story short, I had a software company, and we ended up doing well with it, but I struggled a lot at the start. I was under the delusion that it was going to be easy to be an entrepreneur, right? You read the articles, and it looks like it's an easy thing to go out and do, and I'm going to have success. And I was working hard, and I wasn't getting results. I wasn't getting the success that I thought I would get. And I felt really bad. I felt like I sucked. It's like everybody else is getting results, and I'm here just sucking. And I was too embarrassed to tell my friends, that I didn't have money, and I couldn't go out to grab pizza and beer with them. And I just told them, yeah, I'm just too busy. I'm doing my business, entrepreneur lifestyle. But I was really just embarrassed and ashamed that I didn't have enough money because I wasn't having a lot of success. And I don't know. I felt that I was worthless. And then I realized that this is normal. Like, everybody struggles at the start. Nobody just gets an idea and is immediately crushing it. It takes time to build something up. And I didn't know that. And so I started the YouTube channel with that goal to try to help. It's actually started before my YouTube channel, but I started helping entrepreneurs with that goal to help entrepreneurs see that it's not easy. You can do it, you can get there, but it's not easy. And by modeling success, Bill Gates saved my company. I've never met him, but his ideas, his strategies saved my company. And I wanted to go out and learn from more people. And so that started off in seminars, just doing free workshops with people just to try to help, transition to my website, and then it became my YouTube channel. And it's still the same theme of learning from successful people to try to help entrepreneurs and not sugarcoating it to say it's going to be super easy for you to make it. It's a lot of hard work, but worth it if you stick around.
That's great, man. You mentioned something interesting. You kind of got started in that software space. Was that a dream of yours to begin with, man? Software, developing software?
It wasn't. Growing up, I had a bunch of entrepreneurial tendencies, but I didn't think I would be an entrepreneur. I didn't have any entrepreneurs in my family. I had lots of role models for how to be a great human being. At least I think so, from my parents, but I didn't have any entrepreneurs in my family that I could learn from. It's like, I want to be like him or her. And so I thought I wanted to be a banker. In my high school yearbook where it says where you're going to be, it said banker. So
what?
that's what I thought I was going to do, man. I thought I was going to be a banker. And then I got to university, and there were two people I connected with who had a company who were trying to get it off the ground, and they offered me to join as an owner in the business. And I thought, I don't want to regret this. The year prior, I regretted not doing something else in my life, and I thought, you know what? I gotta not regret this decision, and I'm gonna do it. I can live with the failure, but I can't live with not knowing. And so I joined them to help them, and it sucked at the start, but we found our way through, and that was the start.
So you kind of got in the software space as sort of an investor almost, an investor in the company.
I was COO, so I was in charge of running the business. I wasn't an investor in terms of, hey, here's some money, and I didn't have money to invest, by the way. It was all sweat equity that I put in, and I worked. Like, I wasn't some investor just kind of sitting on the sidelines. I was grinding every single day working for that business.
And were you still doing that when you started your YouTube channel, or did you just make a clean cut?
Yeah, I had sold that. We got acquired. Our business got acquired 3 years after I started. And then from there, I went through the process of wanting to help entrepreneurs. I didn't know what I wanted to do next. I said yes to a whole bunch of different things just to
Nice.
experiment and see. And one of them was helping out entrepreneurs. and I thought, this is awesome. I want to keep doing it.
That was the thing that you kind of resonated with the most. That's awesome, dude. That's really cool. Listen, man, I look around, and I was kind of studying you a little bit in hopes that you would do this interview for me. And I'm looking around at your YouTube channel. I see your book. I see your website. And I'm like, Evan's kind of created an empire here. There's a lot going on. And I guess I kind of wonder, man, between the blog and the YouTube channel. And, like, guys, this is a YouTube channel that updates videos multiple times a day. Am I right in saying that, Evan?
Yeah, we're three a day.
3 a day, man. At what point in your business venture, as in your entrepreneurial path, did you say, dude, you know what? For me to get to where I want to get to, I need to bring in some help. I need someone to help me with this stuff.
So, I don't like spending money till I'm making money. It's one of my principles. It's easy to spend money. Anybody can spend money. I wanted to find a way to make money. And so with YouTube, at the start, it was just an idea. It was just like, hey, I want to test this out. And so, I borrowed my friend's gear. I used the camera that I had. I didn't invest anything into it. And then as I started getting some results, it took a while. It wasn't like the next week I had results. As I was getting some results, I realized, okay, I'm getting a little bit of money from this. What's the best way to spend it? And really, it's what are the tasks that I'm doing that I shouldn't be doing? And that's where you start getting some nice growth as an entrepreneur. If you can spend more of your time on the things that you could be really, really good at and start delegating away some of the stuff that doesn't matter, or doesn't matter at least for you to be able to do. So for me, it was the editing. The editing takes so long for me that I was doing one video a week when I was really committed to it, but took all my week to do it. Now I hired an editor, and I could go to 1 a day. And then we went to 2 a day with a second editor, went to 3 a day with a third editor. So we've got like 2.5 editors. We've got 1.5 researchers. We've got 1.5 people doing comments. So, it's like, what's the best use of my time? Where can I add the most value? And for me, it's being in front of the camera and creating the content, and not all the stuff that goes alongside it. And so I hired people who were really good at doing that. It wasn't just me and then a team of 10 people. It was one at a time to help us get to the next level of success.
That's great, man. And I guess was that a hard decision to make, or was it a pretty easy, like a no-brainer? Like, I'm going to bring someone on to help me with this. Also, did you ever hire the wrong people? Where you're like, man, you know what? This ain't going to work out. I'm going to have to find somebody else to do this. Was it a process and growth to try to find the right people?
I think it was easier because I had already built and sold the business.
Yeah.
So my mindset was already, I can't do this alone. I need a team. I got to hire people to help do it. I didn't want, I wanted to do it myself. When you have business partners, there's pros and cons to it. The con is you don't have as much decision making. There's 3 of you kind of figuring it out. So I wanted to do this on my own, but I knew I needed a team. It was never a question, and for the YouTube channel, I already had my website. The website already had a team. We already had, 4 to 6 people on the team. And then I started the YouTube channel as a little passion side project. And so the mindset was already, I want to build a team. I got to get this. If it becomes something, if I love it. Because how many times you start something and you don't love it, right? Like,
That's
I'm going to
true,
go,
man.
I want to be a golfer. I'm going to go golfing. And you go and you buy all the clubs and the gear and the whatever, the hand things and, whatever. You're getting everything. You spend all this money and then you go golfing like twice and you have these clubs just sitting in your garage. So I didn't want that to happen. So that's why I tested everything small. I already had money at that point. I could have gone out and done everything. Just I wasn't committed to it. I wanted to see if I loved it first. But in terms of bringing on a team, it was already set that I was going to do it. In terms of hiring the wrong people, on the YouTube side, I haven't had to let anybody go. I think most people hire really incorrectly. I think the hiring process is broken. And so we've kind of rejigged it to really work well for us. And yeah, I haven't had to let anybody go from the YouTube team. Even my other business, I think we've only had to let one person go in 8 years.
That's fantastic, man. I do have a side question for you on that. Can you recommend for anybody out there with YouTube channels who are at a place where they think they might be able to scale up a little bit if they could hire an editor, where would they go to find such an editor? Where do you have any recommendations for them?
So it depends how much you need to have somebody with you working on things. So I don't. I had to go through this process with my other business, and I'm comfortable working with a remote team. And so I'm a fan of using Upwork.
Cool.
My 2.5 editors are through Upwork. I've never met them in person. We've had Skype calls, but we've never met in person, at least yet. Some people like having somebody local that they can go and collaborate with and talk to, and they need the personal touch and vibe. It'll cost you more, but it's just a decision you need to make whether you can deal with somebody remote or not.
Hey, that makes total sense, man. You mentioned something a little bit ago that really kind of struck me, and I didn't know this, but you said the website evancarmichael.com was started before the YouTube channel was. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Now, dude, listen. Let me ask you this. The website's awesome, man. I love the website, and I was kind of looking over it. And you said you had assembled a team in place for your website. So you never really did the website by yourself, or did you start out by yourself and then you kind of grew a team with that one as well?
So everything I start off with, I start myself.
Okay.
I start myself, and then as it starts getting results, then I start investing the profits back in. So when I started the site, I sold my company. I was 22 years old. I sold my biotech software company. I didn't know this was what I was going to do. I got asked to do a whole bunch of speaking as this kind of young entrepreneur, success story, whatever. And so the site was just named after my name because that's all it was. It was me going out and doing speaking. And I had a friend of mine design everything. So a buddy of mine made the logo and made the website and put it all together. It was like everything was bootstrapped. It wasn't like I didn't know what I was going to do with it, so it was all bootstrapped. I gave him advice on his business, and he built me a website, and I didn't pay anything for it at the start. Then it evolved into I wanted to share some stories, and so I'm just putting some content up, and I was doing everything. I was editing in Notepad. We didn't have Dreamweaver. It was editing HTML and Notepad. I learned it myself how to do it, and started getting some traffic, started getting some attention, started getting some. AdSense came out, started getting some revenue from it. People started asking me if they could write for my website. I said, okay, I can get, as me, I can only create so much content, but if I have thousands of people writing for me, I could have a lot more content. I could create a, win-win proposition there. And so then people started adding more content, started making some money. I took that money, invested it into bringing on a team, having actually somebody design it better, having a programmer, so just as I started making money, I poured back into the business. I think people often take too much money off the table at the start. Like I poured everything we earned back into the business. I was still investing my heart and energy and blood and sweat into the business, but I wasn't pulling money out of my pocket to go put into it.
That's awesome, dude. I appreciate you giving a little insight on that website. I noticed you're sporting that YouTube silver play button in the background there. I see that thing. How did it feel when you got that silver play? Now, that's for 100,000 subscribers, right? When you hit that 100,000 subscribers, is that what that's for?
Silver's 100, yeah.
So
yeah, it was good.
That,
it was good. I mean, for me, I'm much more addicted to the big picture.
Sure.
Like I love the process. Like I love doing these interviews. I love doing the videos. I think a lot of times people are too addicted to the goal and they don't like the work. I like the work.
Nice. And
so like it came in, it's like great. I think I made a video on it. I almost didn't even do anything when we crossed 500,000.
Yeah.
My fans are like, what are you gonna do to celebrate? What are we gonna do? I'm like, I don't know. 500K is not. I don't know. Why do anything? I just wanted. Let's just keep having an impact. But I don't celebrate probably enough. Maybe it's a weakness. So I have it here. Add some credibility, I guess. We'll get the gold one at 1 million. We'll have to find space. It's already hard enough. If I move this over too much, my wife gets upset that she's not in the videos. So I gotta make sure that
nice. Yeah, absolutely, as it should be. All right, man, look, and one thing I did not know about you, I just was kind of studying you a little bit, and just recently I found out, about the book, Your One Word. Could you talk a little bit about how this book came to be, and a little bit about what it's about for people who don't know anything about it?
How the book came to be is I have an agent in New York, and he wanted me to write a book. He's like, you need a book for your brand and your credibility. I'm like, I don't need a book, dude. Steve, I don't need a book. Like, I have my YouTube channel. It's not, the world has changed in the past 20 years. I can open up doors with my channel just as easily as I could with a book. I didn't want to write a book. He's like, you need to have a book. You need to have a book. And then I was going through a phase where I felt like I could do more with my business. I was having some success. And I felt like I could do more. and I didn't know what the problem was. And I was thinking, okay, maybe it's just my tagline. I didn't need a better tagline. And I was going through that rabbit hole, figuring out what my tagline was for my business. I discovered Believe, which is my one word, and realized that it's much more than just a marketing tagline. It's at the core of who I am. And so as I was trying to discover this one word of believe, I didn't know it was one word at the time, but I came down to believe, and I started experimenting. Just like I experiment in starting businesses, when I'm making changes, I experiment. And so I made a newsletter just about believe, and that was my best newsletter that I had ever sent out. Got the best results. My sister wrote to me and said, "I am actually reading your newsletter now."
What?
It's like, yeah, the kind of like punch the stomach and compliment that only a sister can give. I made a video about Believe, and that's really the first video that exploded on my channel. Up until that point, I had 100,000 views on my best video, and it took a year to get that best video to 100,000 views. I made a video about Believe, and that video got 100,000 views in the first month. It's like, what is happening? My YouTube channel is blowing up, and that video is at 2 million views or something like that now.
Yeah, that was a collab video you did, right? Am I correct on that? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It was a great video, man. Really inspirational video.
Yeah, and Believe was the core of it. You know, what I stood for was the core of it, and everything I touched around Believe did better. And so I thought, I'm going to do this crazy thing and build my whole company around Believe. And then I started finding other companies that were built around their one word. So where the entrepreneur found their one word and then built their business around it. And I interviewed people who, the first guy is making $50,000 a year. And so like he bought himself a full-time income and he wants to grow. And then the next one is $500,000 company, then a $1 million company, and a $5 million company, and then a $150 million company, to learn, like, how did these people all do it? Because nobody had the blueprint. And so by my experience, and then by talking to them and traveling across North America to meet them, I created the blueprint, which is basically helping you identify what your single most important core value is, which is your one word, and then applying that in your life and then into a business that stands out from its competition and helps you make a lot more decisions with clarity and power. So Steve, my agent, wanted a book. I'm like, Steve, I want to write a book. This is the book to write. Let's do it. And that was the early genesis of the book.
That's awesome, dude. That's a great story, and it's a fantastic concept, just one word. Because, man, like when you start thinking about, okay, this is my business, what is the mission statement of my business? What are our core values? What are our core beliefs? You can stare at a blank page for a while on that one, trying to figure it out, and to be able to like reduce it, just kind of sum it all up into that one word. It's a fantastic concept, man. My next stop is to buy this book when this interview's over, dude. I gotta have it. I should have read it before I did this interview. I feel, incompetent for not doing my homework there. So,
well, you know what? Complexity is the enemy of execution. We tend to overcomplicate things. We tend to come up with a million different ways, and you don't do anything. And so having that one thing that can help give you guidance is important. You talk about having core values. Most companies have a list of core values, especially if you look at the bigger companies. They all have this plaque on the wall that shows their core values. And I bet you nobody in the company, not even the CEO, could list you all 13 core values that they have from heart.
Right.
They'd have to look at it. And if you don't even know what your core values are, the whole idea of having a core values is these are the things that shape your decisions. When we don't know what to do, we turn to our core values and they tell us what to do. That's the whole point. It's at the core of who you are. And if you don't know, then you're not really living by those things. And so the challenge of when you go too many is that none of them matter, none of them have teeth. You don't remember yourself, and people won't remember you either. So you want to also make it easier for your people to talk about you. If they know what you stand for, they know what your mission is, then it's a lot easier to say, you got to go listen to Cam's show because he's about XYZ. Right? And so
that's great, man.
All of that simplicity helped with my decision making, but then also into the marketing and helping people spread the message for me.
Hey, let me ask you one more question about this whole thing with the book and the logo and the believe and everything. Maybe it sounds like trivial, but I like the paper airplane. I love the paper airplane. Is there a story behind the paper airplane with the believe together like that? How does that work?
Yeah, there is. So the believe, the airplane dots the I on my last name. So my last name is Carmichael. There's an I in there, and this meant to dot the I. But the idea behind it is, for me, it represents entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
We want to fly. We want to get off the ground. We want to go off and do our own thing. We want to take off. We want to be this supersonic jet and fly.
That's true. That's true.
But we don't have the resources and money to do it. So we're a paper airplane, right? Like, we're not a supersonic jet. That's our dream, but we're starting out with nothing. But we have paper, so that's what we make. And as we start to fly, we're going to get hit with all the, the wind and the bumps and the bruises, but we still stand on our mission. So initially, the logo was always the airplane, but it had a trail behind it, like a jet stream behind it. But it kind of got a little cluttered, so in the later version, we took that out. But that's what it represents, and people resonate with it, which I appreciate it.
I do. I know that's for sure. I think it's really cool, man. Okay, just one more quick question for you, and it's a little bit of a curveball. So I noticed in a lot of your videos, especially the ones I really enjoy, where you talk about like Bill Gates' top 10 rules for success, people like that. Now I noticed you use clips from these guys talking, and it's really awesome and it's very entertaining. Some of these clips, are they copyrighted? How do you get around that kind of a situation with the videos? Because YouTube gets me like for copyright infringement sometimes and flags me and stuff. So
it depends on the channel. I think one, you can expect not to make money on most of your videos if you're doing that.
Okay.
Right. So most of the videos where if we're pulling in a clip from Oprah's channel or whatever, I don't monetize that video.
Okay, that makes sense.
My end goal with the YouTube channel isn't just making money off of AdSense. It's to have a big impact on entrepreneurs. And if you have awareness, then you can monetize that in a number of different ways. So YouTube advertising is not the main path for me. There will be some people who, the smaller channels, you have the risk of getting a strike, which is a lot more dangerous, because if you get 3 strikes and they delete your channel,
3 strikes, you're out.
3 strikes, you're out. That's a dangerous one. So the bigger players, like if you're taking anything from Oprah's channel or CNN or any major news network, they usually let it pass through, but you're not going to make any money from it. So just so you know, now you can fight it and say fair use and all that stuff. You can fight it if you want. I don't care. I don't care. It's like I just want to get the content out. I want it to reach people. If you're trying to take content from somebody's smaller channel, then you should reach out and try to form some kind of connection with them, because those are the guys who have the ability to strike your channel. Okay. And that could lead to bigger issues for what you're trying to do. So a lot of the stuff we use is in the business space. A lot of the people. Look at Gary Vaynerchuk. He's been on the channel. We've done a number of collaborations. He wants his message out. So he's like, you know what, Evan, take whatever you want, do it, go for it.
That's awesome.
Put it out. And all of my content also is helpful, right?
Super helpful.
Like to them, right? Like to entrepreneurs too, but to them, it's always flattering. It's not the 10 biggest mess ups Bill Gates has ever had in his life, right? Or Bill Gates looking stupid on stage or whatever, right? Those are probably to get me more views, but everything I do is intended to be a tribute to that person.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's always honoring them, and so my goal is that if they saw it, they would want to share it. And so we've had, Tyrese shared his top 10 in his Instagram link. 50 Cent shared his. Floyd Mayweather shared his. Like, if people see it, I want them to at least feel the tribute, and hopefully they'll share it as well if they like it. So that makes it easier for us in that I'm not slamming anybody. It's always positive. And so most of them just understand that it helps build their brand, and they want to do some kind of collaboration to help get it out there.
Well, I love it, man. I think it's fantastic. And, Evan, you're a busy guy, and I just want to say thanks for taking the time out to speak with me today, man. If people want to know more about you, where can they go to find out more about Evan Carmichael? And what do you got going on in the future, man? What would you like to talk about?
I think finding me with this audience is YouTube is probably the easiest bet. I'm sure you're going to link it up in the description, or just type in Evan Carmichael, you'll find it.
Absolutely.
In terms of the future, that's always a tough question. I think I plan like 3 months out at a time. So right now I'm hardcore on YouTube. I'm in book promotion mode, doing interviews, talking to people. I have my investments that I've made into other companies that I help run and manage. But what am I going to do in 5 years? I have no idea. You know, like the goal is to help 1 billion entrepreneurs. The goal is to have a big impact.
Really?
The goal is to have a big impact and help 1 billion entrepreneurs. Whether it's YouTube, like YouTube best fits me for what I'm trying to do right now. Whether that evolves into something else, sure. I'm not loyal to YouTube for the long term. It'll eventually become something else. The goal is to reach 1 billion entrepreneurs, and so it just shapes the mindset of the work that I'm doing has to have a big impact, or I don't want to do it.
Guys, he is Evan Carmichael, author, YouTube channel extraordinaire, website owner, and entrepreneur. Thanks so much again for your time, Evan. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks for the love, Cam.
Peace.